Hey guys, Tom Bullington here, Keller Williams, Premier Realty, BuySouthMetro.com. It is Tuesday, December 17th, 2019. Closing in on the end of the decade here. I'm in Bloomington right now. I'm just outside of a building. I'm going to have a closing with a client in about 15 minutes. Just wanted to give you a brief update on what to expect when there's a closing. You know, you talk about buying and selling and going out and having showings and all sorts of things that part of the buying and selling process. But as far as the closing, we don't really talk much about that with clients, as much as we should anyway. So a closing typically for most loans takes place between 30 to 45 days actually after the purchase agreement is signed and approved by both sides of the transaction, the buyer and the seller. So the closing is kind of the final piece in the puzzle to complete the transaction, to hand over the keys, to hand over the garage door opener, all of the ins and outs. If there's manuals for any of the appliances, things like that, everything is handed over during the closing. Now, this particular closing, my client pre-signed. So she signed the paperwork last week because she couldn't make it up here. The closing was originally going to be on Friday. So she wanted to make it to the office on Thursday to pre-sign all of the paperwork so that the home is still hers. Currently, she's moved out of the place. It's a condo in Invergrove Heights. But the young lady who is buying her home is here today with her agent, with her title company, signing all the paperwork this afternoon. And then typically on closing days when the checks are exchanged, as far as putting the checks in the hands of the seller, as well as the different agents that get commissions for helping their clients. So the buyer's agent gets a commission, the seller's agent gets a commission, and the proceeds from the sale go to the seller of the home, of course. The buyer needs to bring in typically a cashier's check on the day of the signing. So a lot of paperwork. If you've ever purchased a home before, you know it's a lot of paperwork to go through. Typically you have kind of a preview of what your expenses are going to be and such before you actually get to the closing table. So today is more of the formality of signing everything and then making sure that it's all ready to go. And if the funds are available, we actually have a exchange of checks, and then the keys are exchanged, and the garage door opener, all the keys to the security system, the codes and all that stuff is exchanged today. So currently, at the current time, right prior to the closing, the seller still technically owns the home, even though she's moved out. The buyer will move in probably, in this case, probably this evening or first thing tomorrow. So it's kind of a transition period right now. So lots goes on during a closing, lots to sign, lots of I's to dot and T's to cross leading up to this date. But this is kind of the final piece of the puzzle when you buy or sell a home, is the closing date. So typically who is there is the buyer is typically there, the seller, the lender for the seller, the lender for the buyer is there, and then the real estate agent for each of the parties, and then the title company, the closers for the buyer and the seller as well. So around kind of a typical conference room table. And then sometimes my favorite part is there's cookies. There's one title company I use in particular who bakes fresh baked chocolate chip cookies. And so I try to use them as often as possible. Anyway, if you have any questions about the closing process, or if you're looking to buy or sell a home, please give me a call, 651-402-6356. Again, Tom Bullington, Keller Williams, Premier Realty, BuySouthMetro.com, 651-402-6356. Hope y'all are having a great afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.